Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko has claimed that his political opponents are planning a massacre in the capital, Minsk. It all comes as early voting gets underway in the presidential elections. Alex is keeping an eye on the story from the Cube, and we can speak to him now.
Well, Ollie, this is an election that's really got a lot of attention. Now, this is Alexander Lukashenko, the man who's been in charge of Belarus ever since the fall of the Soviet Union, 26 years in power, seeking his 6th term in office. And previously, Western observers have said that these elections aren't free and fair. The result pretty much decided. Well, this time around, the reason there's been so much attention has been on the unpredictability of what the coronavirus has done to the public mood, and also this rise of a unifying figure in the opposition. Let's start with Mr. Lukashenko, though. He used a State of the Union address, which was delayed by a day, to issue this rather stark warning. Have a listen to this.
So far, there is no open warfare, no shooting. The trigger has not yet been pulled. But an attempt to organize a massacre in the center of Minsk is already obvious.
Well, that's the scale of the crowd at this State of the Union speech. I noticed there the social distancing not necessarily being observed, but the voice of the president there warning a massacre could take place. Now, this is in the same speech that he pushed back against Russia, claiming that 33 people arrested last week were Russian mercenaries who'd owned up to being in the country to sow dissent. We know the Russians have denied that. Then in the same speech saying that allegiance to Russia is something he would guarantee, presenting himself as the unifying figure. But a lot of commentators on social media saying that the president looked a little concerned, a little nervous, and that might well be because of a figure who has emerged as the unifying candidate of the opposition after her husband, this is Svetlana Tikhanovskaya here, after her husband was jailed. Now, she has become the leading figure, drawing tens of thousands to opposition rallies right the way across the country. She has become a figure, she's formerly a teacher, worth saying, no political background, who many people have identified with expressing their anger at the way things have gone in support for her candidacy. Now, we know the main two candidates who were in the running to challenge Lukashenko were, one was jailed, the other fled the country. Sorry, those two were barred from standing in the election. Then 3 others, more tokenistic candidates, sort of pushed to one side. But Tikhanovskaya really seen as a challenger to Mr. Lukashenko. Well, she addressed journalists, and this is what she had to say about the reason she chose to stand.
People needed a symbol of freedom, and I've made a choice to become one. Then there were sleepless nights. It was very hard. Every decision was very hard.
And these are the size of the crowds. Have a look at this. This shared by a journalist there. This is from the city of Brest on the border with Poland. This huge crowd, worth saying, this has never been seen before in Brest. Around 18 to 20,000 people there. We've had reports of up to 60,000 attending rallies in Minsk. So, Ollie, why does this matter? Well, it seems that the president is nervous. His speech was full of lashing out at Russia, then pledging allegiance to Russia, lashing out at the opposition with a warning of a possible massacre while presenting himself as the unifying character. Many people saying this shows that Mr. Lukashenko, perhaps for the first time in his long career, is nervous about where this might go. Early voting has kicked off, but we know Tikhanovskaya and many of the opposition figures are boycotting that, saying it's not free or fair. So the actual vote will be on Sunday, it's the 9th of August, and this will, of course, be drawing huge international attention from East and West.